Alrighty, hello everyone. If you're just joining, you can go ahead and drop where you're tuning in from. I'm Savannah, I'm on the product marketing team here at Customer.io. I'm actually here in Austin, Texas. So I'm curious if anyone else is in Texas or even in Austin. Curious. Okay, London. Wow, great, thanks for joining us. Hello. We also have some polls running. If you'll see on the right-hand side, lower right-hand side of your screen, there's a polls tab. I'd love to see y'all's votes start coming in. Hello. I'm seeing Minneapolis, Canada, Ukraine, Latvia. Wow, we have people from all over. Welcome. All right, and yes, you should see the polls. You'll see a poll message kind of pop up. So I'm actually gonna vote myself on some of these. Curious what y'all vote on too. Hello to people just joining. We're saying hello. We're dropping where we're from in the chat. And I'm tuning in from Texas in the USA. Hello. We're going to give people just one more minute to join, and then we will go ahead and get started. We have a really packed agenda, so I don't want to wait too long to have everyone join. Amazing. Hello, everyone. Wow, we have people from all over. Okay, I'm gonna check on the polls. Like, let's see how people are voting. Okay. We're saying if your life was a marketer, where Beyonce's song "Crazy in Love" is leading the pack right now, I can totally see that. And what best describes your relationship with product launches? Wake me up when there's a demo. Okay, that's great. Well, you are going to be awake because we do have a great demo planned for you today. Okay, I think we are ready to get started. I'll give maybe 5 more seconds and then we will kick off this webinar. All righty. All right, I'm going to get into it. Well, welcome in. I'm going to go ahead and hop into our agenda. So hello, everyone. We have a lot on deck today. This is not your average product release webinar. We're going to be walking you through the recent releases. We're going to show you a live demo, and then we're going to go rapid fire through some of the other features that were just released. And then if we have time, we will open up for a live Q&A. But I'm not the only person you're going to be hearing from today. And again, if you missed the very beginning, my name's Savannah. I'm a product marketing manager here at Customer.io. But I'm also joined by my colleagues Hirsch and Carmen from the product management team and Molly from the product marketing team as well. So you'll be hearing from all of them throughout the course of this next hour. Okay, and some housekeeping. Yes, this is a question that we get a lot. Yes, this will be recorded. So if you need to step away or take a quick break, we will be sending you the replay, and we will also be gathering questions and answers that are commonly asked throughout this webinar. We'll be sending a recap blog post as well. So rest assured, we will be sending you a recording and replay. And feel free to drop questions as they come up in the chat. We have people that will be trying to tackle those, and we might get to them at the end in the live Q&A as well. All right, so let's get into the fun stuff. So a lot of you here might already be Customer.io customers, but there might be many of you who are completely new to Customer.io or haven't heard of us before. I won't spend very much time here, but I wanted to give just a quick overview of who we are and what we do so that you know what we're talking about and what you're looking at in the demo. So for our customers, today's really showing you about the Customer.io you already know and how it just got a lot more capable with these new releases. But for anyone newer to Customer.io, Customer.io helps teams orchestrate every message they send across email, SMS, push, WhatsApp, in-app, and more channels, powered by AI and triggered by real customer behavior. Over 100 billion messages were sent across all channels across the platform last year, and were trusted by over 9,000 brands and growing. So you can see some of the stats here, but in addition, we also offer an in-platform AI agent. And I do want to spend just a quick second here because our agent really is a big deal and it is newer. It launched only a few months ago, and we actually use it to help craft the campaign that you'll see in the live demo very shortly. So very quickly, and then we'll hop into the new features, is our AI agent isn't just a co-pilot that helps you draft copy. It's actually AI that knows your brand. It remembers your goals. and it executes across the platform on your behalf. There's really 3 things that make it more unique. It has persistent memory. It remembers your strategy and how you work, so its recommendations get sharper the more you use it. It can actually operate with end-to-end execution. You can describe a campaign in natural language. It can help you build the trigger, the content, the timing, the branching logic. It's really a strong co-pilot. And then we also know how much context really matters, especially working with AI tooling. And every interaction with the agent sharpens the next one. You can ask it to analyze a campaign, draft a better version, and it already has that context. Yes, so that's a little bit about our agent and a little bit about the Customer I/O platform, but this is not what you came for. You came for all of our new releases, so let's get into it. All right, so this summer release brings over 10 new features, all built around one idea: show up the moment it matters. In fact, let's take a second in a moment here to think about your customer's day, where they are, what they just did, what they're going to do next. That context shifts minute to minute, and this drop and these new features gives you more ways to catch those important moments. Your customers aren't sitting still, and neither is Customer I/O. And every feature in this launch is about helping catch your customers in the moments that they're ready. I want to go ahead and highlight a few of the features before we showcase them in the demo so you'll know exactly what we're talking about. And I'll start with the 4 headliners of this launch. Start with live activities, or live notifications is what we call it in product. But with live activities for iOS or live updates for Android, you might have heard both of those terms. You can now show up on the lock screen with real-time updates. Think delivery tracking, ride status, flight tracking, etc. And a really popular use case of live activities is if you've ever ordered an Uber or a Lyft or another rideshare app. When you order that car for to pick you up, a tile or a widget will show up on your lock screen telling you your driver's 5 minutes away or 2 minutes away and they've arrived. That is a really popular common use case of a live activity. We've also introduced geofencing and geofences. So with geofencing, you can trigger messaging based on where your customer actually is. You can enter or exit a radius, and Customer I/O will send the message. We've also introduced Bring Your Own SMS, and you can now send SMS on your terms. We've expanded supported SMS vendors so you can bring the provider that fits your market and compliance needs. And with the notification inbox, your messages live somewhere customers can revisit. You can code your own inbox, or you can build one in Customer I/O with no code. So really, this launch is not about just adding channels for the sake of it. It's about showing up in the moments that count. Okay, and we shipped a lot more than just those 4 features. Here's the full lineup, and I'm not going to go into these in detail. We'll go into them a much deeper dive later on in this presentation, but I want to just quickly run through so you are familiar with these features when you see them live in the demo. We've released message frequency caps, so you can now set limits by channel. We've added improvements to our WhatsApp offering, our native WhatsApp offering. You can now create, edit, and submit templates without leaving Customer I/O. We've added improvements to LLM Actions. We now have prompt templates and built-in optimization and knowledge sources. You'll actually see LLM Actions in action very shortly. We've also added Tooltips, contextual in-product messages anchored to specific UI elements. We've added multiple apps for workspace, where you can now manage push for multiple apps from one workspace. We've added a bunch of UI improvements with clearer terminology and a customizable nav bar. We've also added dark mode, light, dark, and system matched modes. And then last, added an Omnichannel subscription center, where we've added topic alongside channel controls together. So again, we'll go into that more detail. This is just a quick overview, but let's get into the fun stuff and into the demo. I'm going to pass it over here to my colleague, Hirsch. She's on the product management team. He'll take it from here with telling you a story and then getting into the demo. Hirsch?
Thank you, Savannah. And hello, everyone. I'm Hirsch Lang, Senior Product Manager. So we've talked about the idea of meeting your customers at exactly the right moment. Now let's see what that actually looks like. Rather than walking through these features one by one, we're going to follow a single customer journey. Along the way, you will see how these new capabilities work together to create an experience that feels personal, timely, and seamless. So meet Olive, our star. Olive is a Shih Tzu who's due for a grooming appointment, and our fictional business, Pamper Palace, wants to bring her in. Instead of relying on generic campaigns or disconnected tools, they're able to engage their customers at exactly the moments that matter the most. Here's how the journey begins. Next slide, please. Imagine you're taking Olive to her favorite dog park. As you leave the dog park, you exit a geofence. At that exact moment, you receive a personalized SMS generated using Customer IO's LLM Action. This is not just another generic promotion. The LLM knows Olive's name. Remember, it's been more than 2 months since her last grooming appointment, recognizes her grooming needs based on her breed, takes into account the upcoming holiday season, and even includes a special offer if you book within the next 7 days. The result is a message that feels less like a marketing outreach and more like a helpful, timely reminder. You tap on the SMS and it opens up the Pamper Palace app. You're interested, but life happens. You get distracted, you close the app, and you never finish booking. A day later, Pamper Palace reaches out, this time with a push notification, reminding you that if you book within the next 24 hours, Olive will receive a free treat back with her appointment. This time, you book. Right away, you receive a booking confirmation through WhatsApp. Because business is using Customer IO's native WhatsApp integration, an improved template is delivered seamlessly to you with the right amount of personalization. A few days later is the grooming day. When Olive is checked in, a live activity appears on your iPhone's lock screen. Without opening the app, you can now follow her progress in real time as she moves from in-wash to grooming and finally ready for pickup, complete with the estimated time remaining. No more refreshing the app, no more wondering when she's ready, just timely updates exactly when you need them. And the conversation doesn't end there. A few days after the appointment, you receive an in-app survey asking about Olive's grooming experience. Even if you have dismissed the earlier notification, the message still is waiting for you in the notification inbox, making it easy for you to come back and respond whenever it's convenient. And that's the customer experience. It feels connected, personalized, and timely because every touch point works together to deliver a seamless customer experience. Now let's see how we can build this experience in Customer IO. I'll share my screen. Hopefully everybody can see my screen. So our campaign starts with a trigger that is a geofence. A geofence lets you create a virtual boundary around a real world place that's get triggered as users move in and out of it. In our case, my trigger is a geofence set called DFW dog parks. You can use either condition of entering the geofence set or exiting for your trigger. So before that, let's quickly go into geofences. You will notice under the configure data section, we have geofences, and clicking on it will bring you to the landing page where you are seeing a list of geofence sets. Geofence sets is a logical grouping of geofences. And you can see we are showing some additional info about the geofence set, like how many geofences are inside it, if they're being used in a campaign, automation, or in a segment. Geofence sets can be used both to trigger campaigns or create segments. I can create a new geofence set by clicking on the Create Geofence Set button, and it'll guide me through the steps where I can use a GeoJSON or a CSV to import geofence sets or create them manually. In this campaign, I'm using DFW dog park geofence sets, but let's look at the retail locations geofence set. So this is what a geofence set will look inside. It'll show you all the geofences inside it. I can click on the map and zoom in wherever I'm interested to see my geofences, and I can click view all to zoom out. And further down, I have all the geofences listed out. I'm going to create a geofence manually. For this, I'll just enter PetSmart. Millipitius is good. I choose my radius. I'm good with 1,000 feet, I click next, I'm happy with the name, and I can click create. And that's how easy it is to create a geofence set. Now I can search on it, and it's right here. Clicking on it takes me to the geofence that I just created. So let me go back to the campaign. Now that I have my trigger set, remember I had received the SMS that was created using LLM Actions. LLM Actions lets you use the power of LLM right within your workflow to create personalized content or use it for AI-based decisioning. You just enter the prompt, define the variables, and LLM does the rest. So I will click into this LLM action, look at it more deeply. So here you'll see I have entered my prompt. The prompt looks very efficient, but this is not what I had actually typed in. I used optimized prompt to make it a very efficient prompt. We understand not everybody is an expert in writing prompts, and that not everybody can write efficient prompts. So for that, we have this new optimized prompt. When you click on this optimized prompt, it preserves your prompt's original logic, but optimizes it for token efficiency. So now when I save it and it runs hundreds or thousands of times, I'm running an optimized prompt. Other new addition has been we have added templates out of the box for the most common use cases, making it easy for you to get started out of the box. If you prefer a clean slate, you can use the start from scratch option to write your own prompt as well. We also have a help me write option where for people who do not know how to get started with a prompt, they can describe their intent and what they want to achieve in natural language, and we will generate the prompt for you. So making it easy again to get you started. Once I have my prompt entered, another new addition is knowledge sources. Knowledge sources lets you add context, more context after your prompt that you can use with your LLMs. Right now, when I add a knowledge source, I have file-based knowledge source and recent events that I can add. Think of it as if you are a business and you want to add your product catalog along with your customers' recent purchase orders that you want to pass to LLM to make a product recommendations that you can use for personalization. Further down, I have defined my output fields, which are both journey attributes. So I have the SMS body and email body. Again, I did not define them manually. I used the generate from prompt option, making it easy for me to generate these output variables. Now I will quickly test the prompt. And it should give me the results from this prompt. So now I can review my email body and SMS body. So I've saved it in my journey attributes, email body and SMS body. I'm happy with it. Let me proceed down my workflow. So I created those journey attributes and I'm using it in my SMS and email. I'll quickly show you how I'm referring them in email. So I am creating this email by simply referring to the email body journey attribute I just populated using LLM action. Simply referring to it, it's giving me all the content that LLM created, and I'm able to personalize each message. This will be unique for each user that goes down the customer journey, the automation. Once I'm happy with the email, I'm just checking on the condition whether the app was open, at which point I'm taking the tool branch. When app was open, I'm sending them a push notification reminding them to book the appointment. Little later, I'm checking if the appointment is booked, at which point I'm sending them a lovely WhatsApp message. To talk more about the WhatsApp message, I'll pass it to Carmen.
Hi, everyone. My name is Carmen. One of the product managers here at Custom Riles. So I'll be walking you through our new improvements for WhatsApp and notification inbox. So next step in our journey is the appointment confirmation message that is sent through WhatsApp after the booking is completed. So traditionally, sending a WhatsApp message means a lot of jumping around. You go through your Meta Business Manager, you build your template, submit it for approval, you wait, and then you sync it back to Custom Riles before you can even send anything. But with this release for native WhatsApp, all of that happens right here. You can create, you can edit, you can submit your WhatsApp template for meta approval without ever leaving our Customer Royal platform. And you can see the approval status right here in the product. So no more guessing where things stand. This makes it so much easier for you to manage and troubleshoot your WhatsApp program as you continue to build. Now, let's go back to our workflow and the journey. Here, after the appointment has been booked, Pepper Palace will follow up with a survey via a push notification. So with our new update, a little one, you can actually now pass this push notification directly into your app or website's notification inbox. We know that, accidentally dismissing a push notification is very, very normal, and you don't want your audience to miss it by accident either. So this will make sure that any notifications you send to your audience will still be able to be accessible in our notification inbox itself. Another part of the release for notification inbox is we made building your inbox messages a lot easier. Before, you had to write out a JSON, and you gotta send it to the inbox itself. But with this update, you can now design and create your inbox message in our visual editor. Now, these will all inherit your global styles as well, so we can ensure that there's consistency across all of your messaging. Another part of our update for notification inbox is going forward, you'll be able to actually set up your inbox visually within Design Studio's global styles here. You can use and include your own notification icon. You can set the colors, and everything within the inbox will inherit everything that you've already set up in your global styles. The result is a polished on-brand message built entirely inside Customer Royal, running as part of one campaign. And then next.
And I'll take it from here. Thank you, Carmen and Hirsch. Hirsch, we have one more thing on live activities.
Absolutely. So I'd like to take a minute to talk about live activities because I feel it's one of those features we all have certainly used, even if we did not know it by its name. If you've ever tracked an Uber as it's arriving or watched your boarding group or gate change update right on your lock screen at an airport, you've already experienced live activity. With this release, you can build those same kind of experiences in Customer I/O. We support live activities on iOS and live updates on Android, so you can keep your customers informed in real time. Instead of sending a series of separate push notifications, you can send a single notification that stays on the lock screen and updates in place as things change. Your customers don't have to unlock their phone or reopen their app to check the latest status. They can simply glance at their screen and see the most up-to-date information. It's perfect for things like delivery tracking, order status, live event updates, or appointment progress like we showed in our Pamper Palace example, where we used it to track Olive's grooming appointment from check-in to ready for pickup. We are very excited to bring this to you, and we'd love to see what you build with it. Thank you. Back to you, Savannah.
All right, thank you. Thank you both for that demo. Okay, so we talked through a couple of the headliners in this release, but there's actually a lot more that we released than just what was just covered now. So now Molly and I are going to do a rapid fire. We're going to move through the rest of the features in this launch. Okay, so moving forward. So first up in this section is we've also introduced Bring Your Own SMS. I mentioned this earlier, but I'm going to give a little bit more detail here. If you send internationally, you know that carrier coverage, deliverability, and even compliance can shift by region. And now with Bring Your Own SMS, you can connect the SMS vendor of your choice. Right now, that's Infobip, Cinch, and Vonage. And you can send to the SMS provider that already fits your market and your specific needs without switching your setup or even signing a new contract. This is especially useful if you've already got a relationship with one of these providers and you want to use them for your needs. Okay, and I'm going to pass it over to Molly to talk about Tooltips.
Hi, everyone. I'm Molly Murphy, another product marketing manager here at Customer I/O. So next up, we're introducing Tooltips. It's a simple but powerful way to provide contextual guidance exactly where your users need it. So instead of interrupting the experience, Tooltips appear right alongside specific UI elements to explain features, highlight actions, or provide helpful tips in the moment. On the screen, you can see this one. highlights appointments. And if you click on that tab, what you can expect when you go there. They're perfect for onboarding users, introducing product updates, or reducing confusion without requiring a full walkthrough. So tooltips are a type of in-app message, so you're going to build them exactly how you build any of your other in-app messages in Customer.io. My favorite part, though, is using the live preview functionality. So once you're in the in-app builder in Customer.io, you click live preview, you simply add the URL where you want your tooltip to show up, and then you can go ahead and select the UI element where the tooltip will target without any developer resources. Once you're in the live preview, you can then select, does my tooltip show up right, left, top, bottom of the UI element that I'm selecting. Back to you, Savannah.
Perfect, thank you, Molly. And let's move on. So we've also introduced in this release multiple apps per workspace. So multiple apps per workspace solves a real pain point. If you run more than one mobile app, you've probably maintained separate workspaces. You might have copied a very similar campaign back and forth between workspaces and even rebuild the same messages twice. Now you can manage push for all your apps in one workspace. You can build a campaign once and then send it to the right app from one place. This is especially useful for two-sided marketplaces with a driver and rider app, for example, or a white labeled product with multiple branded apps, or a company that uses free and premium versions of the same app. Instead of fragmented workspaces, you now get one view of customer behavior across your whole app ecosystem. If this workaround has been part of your day-to-day, this update now removes it. All right, we've also introduced dark mode. This is actually like one of our most requested features, and so we're really excited to deliver it with this release. You can now switch between light, dark, or system matched, so your workspace matches how you actually like to work, whether that's late night campaign builds or just personal preference. It's a small change, but for the people asking for it, it's been a real point of friction that we now have fixed. So no new setup required, you can just flip the toggle to use it. All right, and we've also added the Omnichannel Subscription Center. This shipped very recently. So subscription preferences used to be email first and topic only in Customer.io. Customers could choose what they heard about, like choosing marketing updates or product updates, etc., but not via which channel. Now, channel preferences sit alongside topic preferences as their own layer. So customers control exactly how and where they're reached. You decide which channels and topics show up, and it can stay on brand. It's actually one of the first native unified experiences of its kind. Okay, and campaign frequency limits. So before, Customer.io had one global send limit across every channel. There wasn't a way to set different caps for different use cases. Now you can build named granular limits by channel or share one limit across channels like SMS and email. You can cap free users differently than paid users, for example, or set separate limits for VIP users versus standard clients, etc. These limits apply everywhere across campaigns and newsletters and one-time sends, transactional sends, etc. So the right cap follows the right send every time. Okay, and also with this release, we have renamed a handful of core terms to match the language you see elsewhere. Campaigns are now automations, people are now profiles, and etc. These aren't just cosmetic changes. It's about aligning with how the industry talks about these concepts so that it's more intuitive to navigate Customer.io. So nothing about the functionality I just want to note has changed. These are just labels, so everything will work as you expect. And I kind of wanted to just show a quick look of what that looks like in Customer.io. You can see on the left-hand side is our old navigation bar with the old naming, and then you can see the new names clearly. All right, and along with those changes of just making your experience in Customer.io more intuitive, now your workspace can reflect how you actually work with the customizable sidebar. You can choose what shows up in your sidebar and hide what you don't use. Your experience in Customer.io is now just as personalized as the messaging that you send. Okay, and then we also have one more feature that wasn't named in any prior communications. We've added Floppy Mail. This one's just for fun. We built Floppy Mail, a little inbox-themed game hiding in the product. You can challenge your teammates. You can see who can post the best score. There is no strategic value whatsoever, but it's a good time. And also you can see how pathetic my own score of 6 is. I know someone has definitely already beaten me there. Okay, and now that we move to the features, before we get to the Q&A, I wanted to quickly plug that we have a really fun virtual half-day event coming up for marketing folks. You can join if you're interested. It's going to be a half-day virtual event packed with fresh ideas to elevate your campaigns and help turn your communications into chart toppers. And it's a really fun theme. If you register by August 12th and attend, you'll be entered to win one of our lucky 20 customized bucket hats. So if that's interesting to you, feel free to register. The link should be in the chat as well. Okay, and now that we are through the content, I'm going to open it up to Q&A. I am going to start by tackling the questions that you all have submitted. Let me pull those up. All right. And apologies, everyone, for the presentation being too small. It seems that that's been fixed, but that was a question asked. So hopefully that it's working well for everyone now. Okay, let's see. Barack asked regarding message frequency caps, do they affect SMS sendouts by limiting sends to 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and preventing sends between 6 p.m. and 9 a.m. overnight? And the answer is no, they don't. Frequency caps evaluate against a sliding window. I expect you'd need to use some wait until setup in the journey to restrict sending to specific hours of the day. All right, let me move on. Okay, let's talk about, there's a couple of questions around geofencing and compliance. So Talia asked, what compliance considerations should we keep in mind with geofencing? And the thing with user consent is that geofencing runs on device. So your app needs OS location permission, and you should collect that consent per your privacy policy and local laws like GDPR, CCPA, etc. On the customer IO side, geofence enter-exit events don't include device coordinates, only when the fence was crossed. And then that fence lookup is stateless. We don't store the user location server side, and it only works for identified profiles. So it's important to tie it to your existing consent flow. Okay, let's look here. More questions on geofence. Can we draw our geofence, or does it have to be a radius? We're only supporting circles for now, and each geofence is a center point plus the radius of up to 10 kilometers. We don't have polygon drawing yet. If you need to cover an odd shape, a common workaround is placing multiple smaller circles in one geofence set and then triggering off that set of geofences. Okay. And let's see here. Triggering with geofences. There's a lot of geofence questions. I love it. Does the trigger depend on the customer making an action in-app or web to trigger a geofence? There's no in-app action needed. The trigger is the device physically entering or leaving the fence area flow. So your mobile SDK fetches nearby fences and registers them with OS. And then OS watches location in the background and wakes the SDK when the user crosses the boundary. The SDK then sends the enter-exit event to customer IO, and then that event can trigger campaigns, update segments, etc. And so the action is just the person moving through the real world with the app installed and the location permission granted. All right, let's see here what other questions that we have. Where do you go to create that first prompt here, and then it builds a whole journey? Claire, I think you're referring to the agent. We did use the agent to help draft the campaign flow that was demoed live by Hirsch and Carmen. In Customer IO, you would navigate on the left-hand side navigation bar. There is a section that says agent, and you can access the agent there. You can also access it within your campaigns. You want to ask questions or within a broadcast if you're looking for help within creating specific messages as well. So that's where we navigated to, and then we input our prompt, and then it created the campaign from there, which we refined. Okay, let's see here. Questions. A question on live activities. Can live activities be sent to any profile lead in my system, or are there any requirements? Alexander, you asked this question, and the answer is the profile needs to have logged into your Android app or your iOS app, and the latest SDK needs to be implemented and the live activity built. They are able to reject future live activities at the OS level, similar to push. So hope that answers your question. As a new Customer IO user, is there a 101 and beyond course to learn everything you need to know about Customer IO? We do have an academy that has a lot of different courses that you can definitely take and get familiar with Customer IO. We'll make sure that we share that link in the recap, and we'll try to drop it here in your question answer. Okay, some more geofence questions. Let me see if there's other ones beyond geofencing, and I'll return back to it. Let's see here. Oh, we'll tackle this one now. Does the geofence feature needs and always allow permission granted? Do you need to have that granted? And the answer is yes, Eduardo. For the full experience, yes. Background detection, app close, the user walks into an area, etc. Needs always allow on iOS, and background locations on Android. While using the app only, enter-exit only gets detected while the app is open in the foreground, so you'd miss a lot of transitions there. So it's worth designing your permission ask around that. Okay, and let's see, we have some more questions. There are spilling in. Let's see here. All right, let me pull them up. Are there plans to add Twilio as a BYOS SMS provider for more seamless integrations? Yes, actually, Twilio is one of our BYO SMS providers, and there's no plans at the moment on their new compliance tools right now. Okay, let's see here. Any updates on incorporating web push notifications through the Chrome Edge browser for companies that don't have an app? The answer is we don't have anything planned for that at the moment, but we'll take this into account as an additional feature request. All right, and scanning here. Let me see, there's lots of questions coming in. Thank you all. I'm skimming here, let's see here. Do you plan to further upgrade geofencing to be able to mark custom areas rather than only point with the radius? Yeah, that's on our radar. The tricky part is that iOS and Android native geofencing only detects circles. So custom shapes need extra work on the device side and not just our backend. So we don't have an immediate timeline to share today, but the workaround would be covering the area, like we said earlier, with multiple circles in one geofence, and that should get you most of the way there. All right. I'll take a couple more questions here, and then we will wrap this webinar out. Let's see here. In the Customer IO Pixel, we plan to gate the Customer IO Pixel behind the privacy tool and leave pixel tracking as is. Does that mean we won't be able to use some of the new features? The answer there is gating that pixel behind consent is fine and pretty common. It just means that your web events only flow for people who opt in, and features keep working for those users specifically. All right. Inbox notifications. Love to see those questions come in. For inbox notifications, is there a way to set up a number of unread messages badge on the app? Yes, that is definitely something you can do. You have an option. You can also add an unread count badge. You can also customize it with like your branding and colors and things like that. There's a lot of options there. But that is available inside the app, but not on the app icon on phone launches, just there. Okay. Let's see here if I missed any that are coming in right now. I think I just answered this one, but someone said, is there a way to set up a number of unread messages badge for your inbox messages? But the answer is yes. Kate, you asked, I've tried creating a tooltip, but the live preview bar doesn't appear on my platform. Any troubleshooting tips to make this work? I mean, maybe Molly can help answer this question, but I know personally sometimes live preview just takes a few times to work. You might want to refresh, repaste the link in, and you might have to wait or send it a few times. That's been my workaround. I don't know if Molly, you have anything else to add there.
I was going to say that. And then also just a reminder, this is on web only, so it's not available on mobile. So if you're trying to send it to mobile, that could be an issue why it's not working.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Let me see here if there's any that we can quickly answer. let's see here. I'm skimming the chat. There's a lot of questions coming in. All right, let me see. How can we respond to incoming WhatsApp messages? Hirsch, is that something that you could answer? I know that traditional, it depends on what you mean by inbound. We don't support conversational WhatsApp messages, like you can't have a conversation over WhatsApp, but I believe you can respond to like basic responses. I don't know if you have any other things to add there, Hirsch. Maybe you know.
No, yeah.
Perfect.
You covered it, yeah.
Let's see. All right. And let me see here. Oh, lots of questions coming in. This one has kind of been touched on. I think I already answered this previously, but I'll go over it again. Do live activities require users to opt in to push notifications first? No, they don't require the same permission prompt as push notifications. And you can place a persistent lock screen like experience without needing prior opt-in, as if you have like always allow in the other settings that it should appear. Let's see here. Someone asked a clarification question on the notification inbox. Can you code it, or do you need to code to be able to build your notification inbox? The answer is you can do either or. You can code it and personalize as you see fit, or you can use pre-built components and you don't need to code at all to create your notification inbox UI. Okay. I had someone ask a question about WhatsApp and LLM Actions. I think I saw it in the chat, and so I wanted to just address it really quickly. Someone had said it'd be nice if LLM Actions could draft copy for a WhatsApp message. Unfortunately, it's not how WhatsApp works. WhatsApp operates with a template structure that has to be, you send a template with your message approved by Meta. So using LLM Actions to create a WhatsApp message, it would automatically get rejected. So just a little asterisk there that you wouldn't be able to use LLM Actions to draft your WhatsApp message content. Okay, let's see what else is coming in. I love all the questions. This is great. Let's see here. One more question on WhatsApp. I think I saw in the chat. Someone had said, so you can create and submit WhatsApp templates without leaving customer IO. Yes, that is the big thing with this update. If you're a native WhatsApp customer, you can create, edit, and submit templates for Meta approval directly to customer IO, and then that approval status will be visible in the platform. So it makes it very easy for you to see if your messages were ready to send or not. Let me see here. I'm skimming y'all's questions right now. Let me see. Someone said, is live activity supported on Android too? Yes, we do support on Android. Live activities is the terminology specifically for iOS. So, and it's more widely recognized as the term is used. So if we default it to saying live activities, we do support both live updates, which is the Android equivalent, as well as the iOS version too. All right. Yeah, I don't know if anyone had anything else to add there. I am seeing, let's see, questions still coming in. I'm gonna probably answer maybe 2 more questions and then we can move on. Let's see here. And again, if we don't get to your question, we are going to be sending out an email very soon after this with the popular questions and their answers in the recap blog post. So if you don't get your question answered live, it'll most likely be answered in that recap blog post. So rest assured. All right. Let's see here. I'll take a few more questions. Someone said with the UI updates and the renaming, like campaigns, moving to automations, etc., will that break existing API calls or integrations. And no, everything will work as expected. Nothing will break at all. It should operate just as it's been operating. Okay, and let's see here. So someone had a question about live activities. Someone asked, do I need developer support to build and send a live activity? And right now the answer is yes. It's quite developer heavy at this time. The visual widget UI is built by your dev team, but what Customer.io handles is the delivery, the infrastructure, the handling, and all of that. So your team doesn't have to build that piece from scratch. All right. Now let's see, one more question here. I'm seeing some people mention things like fixes. Thank you for commenting those, and we will be taking a look. I see there was one for Design Studio and a couple of others. Someone asked a question on scheduling emails. I don't see your question. If you want to resend it, I just see the nudge saying to please answer the question. So I don't see the question if you don't mind resending it. Let's see. One second, I'm just skimming these. Okay, let's see here. For support, okay, I think we're getting most of these answered. Let me check here as well. Oh, someone said, are there additional costs for these new features, or are they available to everyone? So some of these are only available on certain plans. Geo-fencing, live activities are available on premium and enterprise plans, and BYO SMS, notification inbox, tooltips, Omnichannel subscription center, multiple apps for workspace, dark mode, and all the UI updates. Those are available on. Yep, so you should have access to a lot of them. And if you're looking for access and you don't have them, feel free to reach out to support or to your CSM if you have one. Okay, let me see if there's any other big ones to tackle. Otherwise, we can close this out and we'll tackle any other questions in our recap, as I said. Let me see here. I think I answered, there's a couple of questions on the geofencing and compliance, but I believe I answered that one already. Let's see. Tony, you asked about integrating WhatsApp and Customer.io and if there's opportunity for greater support there. So we, let me see here. So you can get typical responses as fast as Customer.io would typically do. Unfortunately, like a lot of the slowness in response is on the meta side sometimes, and so sometimes it's a waiting game on that. All right, but we do offer native WhatsApp, so if you are looking for a bit more support there, you can get that. Okay, I think that we've covered a lot of these. Oh, there's one more. Someone asked a question on segmentation. Will smarter filtering ever be possible? I'd love to pull customers who engage with emails carrying a certain tag. For example, all emails tag dog, pull that data straight into a segment instead of manually adding every relevant email. We don't natively support that today. Segment conditions can match opened, clicked per campaign or newsletter, but not any email with a tag of XYZ. The good news, though, our reporting webhook payloads already include the campaign newsletter tags on every open click event. So the workaround is reporting webhook, filter for the tag dog on your side. You can send back a custom event like dog, email, engage via the track API. You can segment on that event. This works for past and future emails with that tag, no manual list to maintain. We have noted this as a feature ask, and we'll pass it on to the product team. All right. I think that covers most of the questions. And let me take one more pass through the chat. Let me see here. I'd love to see the excitement on seeing how things like a live notification geofence develop. We were very excited to release these. Let's see. WhatsApp template approval process. We have some resources that help educate you on that process, so that'd be helpful. We can reshare them after this as well. Some people asked me about that. And someone was also asking about sending the webinar. We will be sending the recording and a recap with everything that was just covered. Okay, I think that covers most things. Thank you all for joining us today. Again, we will be sending a recap. We will be sending the recording. And if we didn't get to your question, take a look at the recap blog post and we will try to get them all answered there. So thank you all so much for joining us, and we hope to see you soon. We hope to see what you do with these features. Thank you all. Bye.